The dark history of gaming. How Nintendo created the Xbox. So you know that Nintendo was working exclusively with Sony on a disk drive for the Nintendo 64. So you would also know that Nintendo kicked Sony out of bed. Sony then turned to Sega. Sega and Sony had a brief partnership and almost got in the console business together. But again, Sega kicked Sony out of the picture. Sony decides to do it on their own, the Sony PlayStation. Now meanwhile, when Sega does the Dreamcast, they partner up with another company, Microsoft Windows. Hey, Sega, remember when Sony called and wanted to do a console with you? Now, this domination in the market was looked at as a threat by one of their competitors. So that drives Microsoft to enter the console space because Sony was starting to dominate a market that Microsoft has had its eye on for at least a decade. Your living room. And that created one of the fiercest competitive markets since the console wars of the early 90s. Now the question I want you to ask yourself and then answer in the comments below, do you think if Nintendo wouldn't have thrown Sony out of bed, we would even have a PlayStation? Or better yet, would we even have an Xbox? Way to go, Nintendo.